While we do not know who will be joining new head coach Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears head coach Ben Johnson, staff, offensive staff, or coaching staff, we do know who's not coming back as he made a few changes already. We know who's not coming back. However, we're going to discuss who they should be bringing to Chicago Bears right after the intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's the word, Chicago Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bears related. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for C Dub, for Bobby, and for Hayes. Y'all already know. Hit us up, leave a voicemail at 773-242-9336 and at Shot Bears Central, wherever you like to receive your social media updates. What's the word, gang? I see you guys in the chat already, man. I know I've been what up, Jacob? I know I've been missing, man. Me and the family were blessed enough to buy a new house. That's why things look a little different for me. Still working on getting the studio and going, but the show must go on. And yesterday we got to see my man's Ben Johnson. I'm gonna call him Win Johnson. I'm gonna call him Win Johnson. But we got to see his press conference, and I was impressed. What's up, Lonzo? I was impressed, man, with what the man had to say. And I feel like he is a leader of men already, and it's going to take a lot more than just him, though. He's going to have to surround himself with other leaders of men, preferably other head coaches or people who have head coach experience, which is what he expressed yesterday. But first things first, we already know interim head coach Thomas Brown, interim offensive coordinator Chris Beatty, O-line coach Chris Morgan, quarterback coach Kerry Joseph, and defensive coordinator Eric Washington will not be retained by the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson. So those guys have been given their walking papers, and I think that's good. Just get it out the way early, rip the Band-Aid off, let those guys know it's time to go. They got their walking papers, and just give them all an opportunity to catch on with another team. So let us know how you guys feel. What's happening in the chat? How y'all feel about the people that have been let go already? It's been, Bears fans and pundits alike have been kind of speculating that Thomas Brown might be retained because of the relationship that he had with Caleb Williams, but he's out of there. And it's kind of interesting for Thomas Brown because he had the same situation in Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, in which he was the offensive coordinator, and then he became the interim head coach, and he ended up getting let go. From there, he came over to the Chicago Bears and had the same situation. What are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds? But hey, he's getting the valuable experience, and it seems like the NFL is kind of going on a youth movement approach with younger coaches, younger head coaches. So I think he's going to get his shot eventually. Simo is gone. Yeah, finally he's gone. Now it looks like the Bears will probably be retaining um, the special teams coach, but they might not. It depends on how things go there. But all those other guys have been let go, and I'm right there with you, Husani. Start fresh. Start fresh. Get rid of all these guys. Let's do a complete culture change. So I want to talk to you guys today about the culture of the Chicago Bears and what it's going to look like with Ben Johnson as the head coach. Now, all the other guys have been able to jump on here and express how they felt or how they feel about the new hire. And me personally, I think the Bears finally got something right. I feel like they got it right. I feel like they went and got their guy. There was no waiting. There was no sitting back and wondering what's going to happen. It's almost as though the Lions lost at 9 o'clock and they were hiring Ben Johnson at midnight. So that's what's up. They got him into Hallis Hall early on Monday. He arrived to a standing ovation. I like that. I like the fact that the Bears are ready to receive him with open arms. And he said all the right things in the press conference. A couple of things that stood out to me in his press conference is when people were asking him about why he came to Chicago. First of all, he just likes the city. And the fact that he likes the city means a lot. He wants to raise his family here. Those are his words, not mine. He does have young children. He does have a wife. He's in his late 30s, and this guy, he believes in the city of Chicago as a place to raise a family, so that's a good thing. And for whatever reason, he believes in the the ownership. He believes in the front office. Now I know that we as fans have soured on the front office lately, but at the end of the day, whatever they said to him and his team in that Zoom meeting was enough to sway him away from the division rival Detroit Lions to come over here. And speaking of division, I love the fact that this man is up to the challenge. Like, he wants the challenge of coming in and becoming the person that turns this team around and leads them to not just NFC North prominence, which is big in and of itself because Minnesota's pretty good, Detroit's pretty good, and Green Bay is pretty good. But he wants these guys to be NFC prominence and get to the point where they win a Super Bowl. And he is not shying away from the challenge. The fact that he looked at the players, I think Cole Kmet, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, were in attendance for this meeting yesterday for the introduction, and told them to get comfortable with being uncomfortable straight to their faces. I really, really like that he had that to say. Plus the fact that he's not just going to come in and with his playbook and expect to just push it on to the Bears and expect them to learn it and do it his way. He wants to break it down to the studs and start fresh with a new playbook that is conducive to his personnel, his player personnel. So I'm excited to see the type of relationship that he and Caleb Williams are going to build together. It's going to be a little bit different from the last two offensive minded coaches that we had in terms of Shane Waldron and Matt Nagy. Both of them were pretty stern, and they both wanted to do things their way and force players to fit their mold. It seems as though Ben Johnson is coming to Chicago with a mindset of working together and creating some type of symmetry with his players as opposed to the other way around. So we're going to get to the Mr. Washington, to the coordinator options in a second. So yeah, those are the things that I liked. I liked a lot of different things from the press conference, but I really enjoyed those things, and the fact that he was able to kind of troll us in regard to like the plays that he called when he was in Detroit. That one play where it looked like they fumbled the ball, did the fake fumble fall touchdown play. So that was pretty cool. And of course, he didn't really say, "Oh, we're gonna beat the Packers and we're gonna take the North" and all of that, but he did say he enjoyed defeating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Now, as far as the next defensive coordinator, it seems as though the Bears, there you go, Miguel, are looking at Dennis Allen from the Saints, and honestly, Dennis Allen would be a pretty good pickup for the Chicago Bears. They actually they did have two former Saints coordinators interview with the Bears, and Dennis Allen was one of them, and he's now the leading candidate to be the defensive coordinator. Let me see if I can find any stats on like what type of defense he runs. He didn't do well as the Saints head coach or with the Oakland Raiders, but let's see, what type of defense does he run? All right, so he does run a 4-3 scheme, and that's not too much different from what the Chicago Bears already do. The recent results for him last year, Saints were ranked defense eighth in points and 13th in yardage. In 2022, the defense checked in, finishing the year allowing ninth fewest points and fifth fewest yards. So from 2015 to 2023, the years in which he was running the defensive coordinator or head coach, the Saints had 7 seasons in which they ranked in the top half of the league in scoring defense, including 5 top 10 finishes, 6 years where they finished in the top half of yards, including 3 top 10 finishes, and 5 seasons in which they finished in top 10 in takeaways. So that's pretty damn good. That's according to Bleacher Nation. So if Dennis Allen were to come over to the Chicago Bears, it's looking like they're going to be running a 4-3, trying to hold teams to not many points and not many yards and getting takeaways. And that's Chicago Bears defense. So yeah, I like that. As far as offensive coordinator is concerned, they wanted to go and get the current offensive line coach from the Detroit Lions, but it's not looking like he's going to come over. So that's not a bad thing either. Like, I mean, this guy's he's looking to be an offensive coordinator. He's probably going to become an offensive coordinator in Detroit. So it is what it is. But he was looking at uh let me see what's his name. He's looking at other players. Hank Fraley. I don't think Hank Fraley is coming anymore. And then there are two other candidates, Mark Brunell and Tanner Engstrand. One of those guys might come over to help out with the offense. So that's something that could happen. But it's looking. So the Rooney rules also applies to the three coordinator positions. So the Bears are going to have to do their due diligence and interview quite a few people before they can make their decisions on those coaches. So hey, listen, the Bears have a lot of work to do, and Steve and I were talking about this earlier over on Chi-Town Sports Central. If you're not following Chi-Town Sports Central, go ahead and hit that up, hit that like button over here as well. But we were talking about how important it is for the Chicago Bears to hit on every decision moving forward. I believe this is a hit with Ben Johnson, but they're going to have to hit on OC, DC, special teams corner. They got to hit on all three phases of the ball. Quarterbacks coach, everything has to be in unison. And then they're going to have to hit on 8 OTAs, training camps. They're going to have to hit on everything preseason, everything's of course free agency, the draft, every single thing the Bears do moving forward are going to have to be basically batting it out of the park because, frankly, the way that Ben Johnson is approaching it is that he believes the Chicago Bears can compete for a playoff spot in 2025. He's not coming here expecting the Bears to take 2 or 3 seasons to get the ball rolling. If you listen to his press conference yesterday, he believed that they have the talent here right now to compete, not just in this division, but in the entire league. So, and he said it, if they're going to do that, they're going to have to put the work in, work hard, and sacrifice. That means sacrificing time. That means sacrificing self and it's going to be a lot of late nights and early mornings. And that's not to say that the players don't already do that, but as we already know that there was a culture situation with the Chicago Bears under Eberflus that did not translate to wins. So if the Bears are expecting to be winners, they're going to have to listen to this guy. And I honestly feel like the way that he was talking about his transition from different coaching positions to different coaching positions, he said that he was able to change himself to best do the job that he had to do, whether it was in Miami or Detroit, all the way from being a personnel person to being an offensive coordinator. He had to adjust himself. So he's going to adjust as a head coach and do his job. But if he's going to do that job well, he has to surround himself with other good coaches. Now, some people are still looking at McCarthy to be a possible offensive coordinator. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, considering the fact that McCarthy he's a pretty good head coach, and there are a couple of head coach positions that are still available if he wants to take them. Of course, with Las Vegas, the Jaguars are still available as well. He might take one of those, but if he doesn't get the head coach position in one of those places, there's a chance that we could have two former division rivals on staff as head coach and offensive coordinator, and the type of offensive coordinator, because he did say flat out that he's going to call the plays. Ben Johnson's going to call the plays, and he wants an offensive coordinator that's going to be able to help him put the game plan together and so on and so forth. What chances the Detroit defense knows Ben's tendencies? Well, here's the thing. He said, I mean, like, of course, there's going to be some things that he brings. He's not going to just completely scrap his entire playbook, his entire play style, but he's not planning on bringing the most of the playbook from Detroit because they have a different personnel. Like, we don't have Jameer Gibbs. We don't have Amon Ron Saint. We don't have all of those players. We don't have Sam Laporta. He's a different type of tight end from Cole Kmet. So when you think about the personnel that the Chicago Bears have here, the approach that Ben Johnson is making is important. The fact that he wants to assimilate his playbook to their play style is important. Detroit might know some of his tendencies, but they're not going to know everything. He's the type of guy that's he's gonna change. I definitely think he's going to change well enough for it not to matter. Next year, I wouldn't mind seeing Green Bay and Detroit within the first 4 weeks. The schedule is out, but the teams that we're going to be playing is already out. So that would be dope to not have a bye week as late as we did as well. What if we brought Lovey back? I think that Lovey Smith ship has sailed. I mean, I know for nostalgia purposes, it would feel good, but I don't want a strong cover two type approach without only sending rushing three or four. I do believe the Chicago Bears need to be a team that puts pressure on quarterbacks. We saw this season they didn't do it too well, too good, just good of a job with that, and it didn't work out for the Chicago Bears defense. They kind of fell apart toward the second half of the season. The Rooney Rule is ineffective, but it was needed at one point in time. I feel they can do away with it now. Listen, if the new president has anything to do with it, they probably will get rid of the Rooney Rule anyway. We all know the main reason Johnson came here is because of talent. Vegas doesn't have what we have. I look forward to seeing him use it. Absolutely. Everybody else's ops right now is all about the Chicago Bears. Um, Let's see what else we got. We appreciate you guys for joining us. Hit that like button. It's your boy Big Kev standing in for my man C Dub, Bobby, and Hayes over here on Chicago Bears Central. You guys can follow me over on Chicago White Sox Central and Chi-Town Sports Central and NBA Central. He's already said that they will look at the O line and fix it. Listen, that's the most important thing. If we're going to look at the draft and free agency now, it's already difficult enough to find good offensive linemen. If you can find a solid one in free agency, and we're not talking about Nate Davis because that dude was a problem. But if they can go get a solid offensive lineman in free agency and two solid offensive linemen in the draft, the Chicago Bears could really turn their favor around, their fortune around to a favorable situation. And I believe that that's one thing as we go back to his Detroit days, that he will try to implement here. I think he talked about it yesterday. What up, V Dog? He did say that he wants to kind of build the offensive line the same way that they did in Detroit. Appreciate you, Anthony, big homie. Yeah, man, it's an adjustment. Buying a home. It's intimidating until you get the wheels rolling, and then when you start to realize all the benefits of trying to get to that new adulthood. That's what I told my brother-in-law about it. You just feel like a true grown up when you own your own home. But it's already been problems, man. From day one, we've had problems at least once a day. But it is what it is. What up, V Dog? Let's see what you had to say. We got to see wins on the field, no doubt. But I'm happy as hell that Chris Morgan garbage ass is out of here. Simo is out of the building. Hey, Simo was solid when we had Justin Fields to hide behind because the Bears running backs definitely benefited from Justin Fields for sure. um, Proposed and Ben Johnson scouting O line will be key, and like y'all have mentioned, maybe the best veteran center signed could help. Absolutely. What up, Crimson? He says, I think the coaching staff is going to be a big factor. Having talent is important, but you really need coaches that can develop the talent. Oh, that is beyond important. Because again, Ben Johnson cannot do it alone. We've seen coaches come in here and try to, allow them, like John Fox is trying to do it by himself. You can't really do that. You got to have a strong team around you for sure. Like just like over here on this network, we can't do it by ourselves. All of us have to help each other. We're each other's crutches when somebody falls. The center from the Falcons is a mauler. He needs better technique on pass blocking, but he is filthy on the run. Well, I have to tell you this, Anthony, big homie. If he's not a good pass blocker, I don't want him. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I like to see somebody that's dope on the run, but you got to protect Caleb Williams after taking almost a record amount of sacks this past season, and that's just not good enough. I like him too. I like what you're saying about Buddy, but if he can't protect on the on the pass, no thanks. I can see them drafting Caleb's center from USC later in the draft too as the future, maybe. But again, I don't want to see another project. Ryan Poles has had too many swings and misses on projects, and I'm not trying to see that. I want to see somebody that's going to come in and be able to play, not necessarily from day one, but play in the season. Khalil Mack did say that he wants to play, but I don't know about bringing Khalil Mack. I definitely enjoyed his time as a Chicago Bear. If he does come back, then I can rock his jersey again because I got a Khalil Mack jersey. Let's see. I think we might trade down a little bit in the draft. A lot of good interior offensive linemen in the third round and in the second round. But the Bears do have those two high second round picks. I think they have the first and the third, or the first and the fourth second round pick. this upcoming draft. So I believe that's where they're going to address their offensive line concerns, but that remains to be seen. We need dogs. Simple as that. You right about that, Jacob Hone, the Don. We need you out there, my guy. Go ahead and jump on the O line. Rob Anto tackle has to be the 10th pick or whatever they trade down to, if not too far back from 10. I'm of the belief that they should definitely go offensive line or defensive line, both of them in the trenches. If you got the best defensive tackle or edge rusher available, because you see what happened with them not going for Jared Verse, right? Jared Verse was the only Pro Bowl rookie defensive player in the draft, and the Bears passed up on him. So if you can get a strong edge rusher or defensive tackle, that'll be solid. But also offensive line would be good at the 10th pick. But that again, offensive line is so hit or miss. If their value is not a first round, I wouldn't reach too high on them, honestly. A lot of people are saying Ashton Genty too. I'm not sure the Bears should reach on him either at running back in the first round. Bears need another edge rusher. Which do you think is the best options in free agency? Let me see. Let me do some quick research and then I'll get back to you on that one. And then V Dog. Let me hold on real quick. Let me see. Free agent edge rushers. You say I'm one of those type of nerds. Edge rushers 2025. Do do do. They got the top 100 players overall. I don't want that. I want the edge rushers. So Trey Smith, is a guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. If the Bears can get somebody like that, but he's gonna want 20 million plus a year. I doubt that Kansas City gonna let him go. But if they do, the Bears definitely need to go after him. Bears also need secondary help as well. If they do get rid of Keenan Allen, they could go after Chris Godwin. Khalil Mack is an edge rusher, but he's older. I wouldn't want to get him. Amari Cooper is going to be free as well. So that's somebody to think about. Sam Darnold, he's probably Josh Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles. How old is this kid? He's younger. Um, and he can definitely play. So you might want to look at Josh Sweat out of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm just looking at this list right here. Hassan Reddick from the New York Jets was somebody that we were thinking about a couple of years ago. So he's available. And then that's about it as far as people. And then you got Malcolm Kuntz from the Las Vegas Raiders. So yeah, there are a couple of edge rushers that are out there that the Bears could definitely be looking at. V Dog says, I could see this offense clicking immediately. He has tons of experience with that side of the ball. Not gonna lie, I forgot he was in Miami before Brian Flores came. He coached various position groups. Oh yeah, the offense could click immediately. That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. But again, as Bears fans, we've been burned too many times to get too hopeful. I hope they can sign Trey Smith. And the big homie says the theme for this draft should be for the trenches. Absolutely, they need to get tattoos or T-shirts or something for sure. That was on the offensive coach. I feel like Darnell Wright took a step back this year. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. I think Darnell Wright's going to be okay though. They can definitely fix that. Can Booker take a step forward maybe next year because he didn't really do much, too little, the little we saw. Everybody on his team can take a step forward. Everybody that they decide to bring back, they can all take a step forward for sure. You just got to put the work in. The Chicago Bears, Chicago only have 3 drafts. I'm not sure what you mean by that, William D. Lofton. Pick up Chase Young for the cheap, maybe. It's a rumor that they can get the offensive Raiders Phil Bond for O line coach. We'll see about that. And then I'm still waiting on that preseason game between CBC and. Hey, we can make it happen, bro. We can definitely do some flag football or a pickup game, basketball, whatever. As much as I like to, it's like talented, skilled players, there will never be enough to overcome a subpar O line. Absolutely. And if the Bears learn anything this year, it's exactly that, Crimson. It's exactly that because they decided to keep the pick and they picked Caleb Williams, which could have gone either way. They could have gone with Jaden Daniels. They could have traded the pick and win with Justin Fields, but that's all in the past. But Roma Dunze, while he's probably going to be really good, the Bears had so many opportunities to do something different there instead of just going with the offensive player. And it could hurt them or it could help. We're going to see how it goes in the future. With the injury history to Braxton Jones and Darnell, they definitely need a starter and backup tackle for sure. For sure. What up, Deontay? Good to see you too, man. I'm back in the fold. I still got work to do in this office, but I'm definitely gonna keep it moving, man. The show must go on, so you guys are gonna see me way more often. Moving is no joke. I had to move a king size bed by myself last night to put out for the garbage to take. It was heavy. The other sweat is available, I believe, from Philly. Is an edge, and he will be a free agency. I think I did just say that. Yeah, you're right. And then before we get out of here, we hit a couple of more comments. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. I don't do this too often over on here. This channel, you will see me over on different other channels, Chicago Bulls, but you can follow me on Chicago White Sox Central. It's a new page that we created. We separated the Cubs and the White Sox channel. So Chicago Cubs Central is still holding strong over there. Chicago White Sox Central is brand new. Even though the White Sox aren't that good of a team, we will be providing you guys with daily content. So if you haven't followed already, just type in Chicago White Sox Central and follow your boy. I got 2 episodes up this week already. BJ coached him in Miami. Y'all need to be worried about winning the chip instead of dick riding Green Bay. Ain't nobody dick riding Green Bay. Why would you even come in here and say that? Like we're excited about having a new coach. We're excited about who we could be adding as potential staff members to this coaching staff, and we're excited about what type of players we can add in free agency and through the draft. Nobody's thinking about Green Bay. Like, what are you talking about? In fact, you're the only person who said something about Green Bay, so you defeated your purpose, William D. Lofton Sr. You're dick riding Green Bay right now. Take it out your mouth, my guy. Husani, St. Brown said give him a call. We'll see. We will see. What's more realistic, an edge in a draft or free agent? Both of them are realistic, to be honest. Honestly, it's probably in free agency. I doubt that they're gonna go with an edge rusher in the draft. They still got the guy they drafted out of Kansas who had a strong camp and was a fan favorite in preseason. I can't think of his name right now, but they still got that kid on the edge, so they're probably gonna develop him a little bit more. Miguel, Kevo, you need to go on the podcast more. But yeah, man, I've been moving. It took us a while, man. My wife and I moved into a new house, so I had to take the last couple of weeks off. But yes, now I have a true dedicated space. When you guys were seeing me before, I was in a shared space, so like I wasn't able to do it as much as I would have liked to because there was always somebody around. So now I have a space where it's just all on my own, and you guys are gonna see me every day. So don't worry about it. I'll be here. I do love the fact that everybody in the building, top down, acknowledged their past failures over the last several years, and they're all committed to doing business differently, from George to Warren to the HC. Yes, the fact that they're paying this man $13 million is enough to let me know that the ownership is finally willing to listen to Kevin Warren, who's probably telling them, y'all got to start spending money if you want to win. So if only the Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, Chicago Bulls can follow suit, but we will see. Because I'm tired of seeing our major market of Chicago, playing down to mid-level market, small market values. A lot of cap space. Yep, 66 million, 66 million. Literally everyone regressed this last year, with the exception of Caleb Williams, because it was his first year. So all he was only he went out there and broke records. So hopefully next season he doesn't regress. Yeah, Khalil Mack, who knows? Hire Lovey Smith, we already covered that. Nah, that's in the past. Before we get out of here, a couple more comments. I wouldn't mind seeing Krutz work with the O line during rookie minicamp. I think that bridge is too far gone, as far as Olin Krutz is concerned, because of the fact that the Bears offered to pay him like an hourly wage to come work with them, like $15 an hour or something like that. Like, that's no joke. Like, Google that. The Bears offered that man an hourly wage to come work with them. A Chicago Bears Hall of Famer, Chicago Bears great, Olin Krutz. So I don't know if that'll happen, Shadow. Rob says, if the Bears took Jaden, he would have had the same year. Probably not. If Washington takes Caleb, do they go this far? Maybe. Yeah, who knows, man. I like the fact that Jaden uses that virtual reality thing, though. I think that's helped him a lot, honestly, and other teams should adopt that type of program. Would have liked to keep Reddy Stewart, to be honest. He can ball. You absolutely right about that, for sure. Don't feel bad. I just moved to California King bed to the garbage this morning. Yeah, that was rough. What RB running back do you like in this draft? I do. I do like Aston Genty, but again, like I think running backs. I hate to say it this way, but you can draft and develop pretty much anybody at the running back position. We've seen the Bears do it throughout history. We've seen the Bears do it. So I don't think it really matters if you get a running back in the second round, first round, or the fifth round, or whatever. Um, Big Kev, because all the other teams in the NFC is salty. Maybe because we came into this season thinking that the Bears were going to be at least better than two out of the four teams in this division. We would, it was over with. Ian Wheeler, Austin Booker, there it is. Austin Booker was the edge that they got out of Kansas. I think they're going to develop him as well. Ashton Genty at 10, I don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. That's because the entire division is thinking about us now. It's about to get scary, spooky, crazy, hilarious. That's funny. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Better get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for kicking it with me. Appreciate you, V Dog. Yes, sir. Caleb or Hampton both will be 1,000 yard first year backs. We will see. Yeah, they did that, bro. They did that to Olin Cruz. But all right, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Thank y'all for joining us here on Chicago Bear Central. Y'all can hit us up at 773-242-9336. Follow us at Shy Bear Central. And then, of course, type in your favorite Chicago team and put the word Central behind it. You'll find us at every single one, from the Chicago Sky, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. That's where I'm at, over the Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs. Shot Sports, Shot Town Sports Central. And then, of course, the Shot Bulls podcast tonight, live late at 9:30, the 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, which is crazy, where the Bulls are taking on the Golden State Warriors. Check out C-Dub and Bobby on that live call. Steve-O and myself might pop in and out if I get off work on time. And then, of course, NBA Central, where Hayes is doing a great job over there holding it down. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy today. You will see me. More and more. Appreciate you guys for wanting to see me more too. And I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Don't forget though, follow Chicago White Sox Central. That's where you'll see me